Tesla's 17 robotaxi crashes they've been keeping secret, Porsche being sued for forcing dealer-only repairs, and Corvette wants a rematch at the Nürburgring. I'm Jason Valentini, 14-year automotive engineer. Let's get into it. Tesla just unredacted all 17 of its robotaxi crash reports, records they've hidden for nearly a year. The data actually tells a more reassuring story than the crash count suggests. Most incidents were other drivers rear-ending to stop Tesla, not failures of the autonomous system. A couple of incidents did involve collision edge cases and issues with the human teleoperators taking control. Irony here is obvious. Human to robot, back to human, and still a crash. Porsche owners just filed a class action lawsuit claiming diagnostic protocols are blocking independent shops from performing basic services, not complex repairs here at all. In the case of the plaintiff, it was just a simple oil change. Right to Equitable and Professional Auto Industry Repair, or Repair Act, is making its way through the US House of Representatives to fight against this type of thing right now. And as a former technician, I'm all for it. Corvette's chief engineer is publicly gunning to reclaim the Nürburgring record after Ford took it. The 1,250 horsepower ZR1X ran a 649 for the production car record last year. Then the Mustang GTD Competition came to take it away with a 640 time. Nürburgring is the ultimate systems integration test. Aero, chassis, tires, powertrain, they all have to work together perfectly. This is healthy, respectful competition that breeds innovation at its finest, and I love to see the big three pushing each other. Megawatt EV chargers too powerful for any car to use. Fisker left 11,000 owners SOL. An AI that extends battery life by 23%. Megawatt-class chargers are arriving in the US. ABB and Kempower are rolling out 1.2 megawatt units, and Tesla's expanding its 500 kilowatt V4. Here's the problem though, no passenger EV in America can accept any of that yet. The Lucid Gravity leads at 400 kilowatts, and the infrastructure is ahead of vehicles, which is the right order to build things, but right now the hardware is waiting for cars that don't exist yet. Fisker went bankrupt and 11,000 Ocean owners discovered their cars are orphaned computers. Over-the-air updates aren't just convenience here, they're critical safety and powertrain patches. When the company dies, the cloud infrastructure holding your car together goes with it. Owners are now reverse engineering their own vehicles to keep them running. Impressive, but it shouldn't be necessary. Simulation research from Chalmers University found AI-optimized charging can extend battery life by nearly 23%. Standard charging runs the same profile every time, ignoring how your cells have aged. But this AI monitors cell state of health in real time and adjusts accordingly. It reduces the risk of lithium plating that quietly kills your pack. And it's not just lab theory. Volvo is partnering with an Imperial College London spin-out to bring this to the 2027 EX60. Audi is being sued over water pumps failing. Subaru just shelved their own EV program now too, and Stellantis is promising an $18,000 electric car. A class action lawsuit was just filed against Audi over water pump failures in their EA839 V-6, used across A6, 7, 8, Q7, 8, S4, S5, a whole bunch, all going back to 2018. One owner nearly paid $6,000 out of pocket for the repair. The lawsuit alleges Audi knew about the defect since November of 2018 and issued service bulletins as recently as December of 2025, but without owners knowing. If you own an EA839 power Audi, watch it closely as this issue is sneaky. Subaru dropped 2028 as their in-house EV launch target with no new set date. The factory built for EV production in Gunma will now be making gas and hybrid vehicles instead. This is their second pullback in 6 months. Tariffs cost them approximately $1.4 billion. EV write-downs added $385 million more. And operating profit fell 90%. However, their 4 Toyota-developed EVs stay on the schedule. Subaru is essentially admitting it can't build competitive EVs on its own yet and are right alongside Honda here. Stellantis is promising a new EV under $18,000, and you guessed it, it's not for the US, EU only here, folks. And to hit that price on an EV today, you need cheap battery chemistry, a small pack, and a stripped spec sheet. The question isn't whether they can build it, it's whether what people actually get for $18,000 is compelling from Stellantis. And the elephant in the room, of course, is it good enough to compete with China here? Audi's water pump failure, Subaru's EV retreat, and Stellantis' $18,000 promise. Follow Automotive right now for the engineer's take on what's really happening in the automotive industry.